Hello and welcome home. My name is Noah, and today we're gonna go save my buddy Grey Rat. Um, One thing I just noticed right before starting to record is it's kind of odd when you look at it as a new player. Oh, you gotta run through this room very quickly before he throws that bomb and blows up all those barrels. Look. Oh. Hold up. Got to concentrate. Open the damn door. So the key that the dogs were guarding is the key to that door right there. Do it. So one thing that new players might find strange about Dark Souls, and one thing that I found very appealing when I started playing, was you can one-hand or two-hand any weapon in the game, and it often drastically changes the fighting style of that weapon. The dagger, if you one-hand it, obviously it's much quicker. It's shorter range, funny enough. If you actually tried to two-hand a dagger in real life, it would not increase the range at all. It would greatly reduce the range of your slashes. But it's a little bit faster. I think the damage output might be higher, like the DPS. The heavy attack is just a wide swipe that's not particularly useful, if you ask me. I think it's better just for bosses, like if you get up in a boss's ass and just start swinging. Clearly it uses a lot less stamina. But I prefer the two-handed fighting style because it's a lot longer range. You can get more damage off really quickly, and then just move out of the way. And the heavy attack is a stab that is pretty good for dealing a really quick amount of damage. So I prefer to two-hand the dagger, but that's not the case for every weapon. Like long swords, I much prefer to hold one-handed. The fighting style is just better in my opinion. So let's talk to Grey Rat.
You're no jailer, are you?
No, I am not.
No, you're from far away. And judging by the bell,
Yeah, I'm from
you
far
must
away,
be
6
some
feet
of
under.
that enkindled ash. Remarkable. If that's true, then I have a favor to ask.
No, I'm not going to rustle
Below
your
the
jewels.
high wall is a musty little town. Not the home of any lord, just a very old settlement of undead. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please, give her this ring.
He wants to propose to his doomed
I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay you in kind. I may be a petty thief, but I've more wits than most royalty. What do you say then, huh?
Of course I'm going to grant the request. There's absolutely
Very
no
well.
upside to refusing
I
any of
humbly
things.
place my faith
I think in
in
fact
you.
if you do refuse, then next
I
time you
am
talk to
Grey
him, he'll
Rat
just ask you
of
again.
the undead settlement, and I promise to assist you.
Now, unlike most
Give this
NPCs,
ring
Grey
to
Rat is
Loretta at the base of the high wall.
incredibly important.
Do
He
your
is
part, and
very
I'll do
useful.
mine.
Most NPCs either just have like a small quest line that's kind of irrelevant, gives you a little bit of gear or something if you follow through with it. Some NPCs are just merchants that sell a handful of items, or specialized merchants where they only sell items that are useful for one particular build or so. But Grey Rat is a merchant that sells all kinds of items, and if you follow his questline all the way through, he sells some of the most useful items in the game. And in fact, my favorite build that I've ever made, the Irithyll Shadow, requires Grey Rat's questline to be finished if you want that build to work. So I will talk about that more in full another time. For right now, we're just going to keep making our way down. And we're probably going to fight the boss, the next boss in this episode, so that is good. We don't need to fight the Pus of Man anymore, because only the first time you kill him does he kind of sure. I think only the first time. So it's not really worthwhile to do it multiple times. I just need to check something really quick. Okay, my souls are up on that ledge. It's a good thing I didn't go all the way down. Otherwise, I would have had to come all the way back up to get my souls. I mean, it's probably not a huge amount of souls or anything, but every little bit helps. Especially when I'm so rusty and I just want to... Eventually I will be doing a level 1 playthrough. I'm hoping I can get my internet sorted out, so perhaps I could do that on a live stream or something. Fuck! Alright, back up we go. I would like to stop and talk about some of these areas, but when you're running through, you don't have a lot of time. But aw, you fucking slut. You know, I completely forgot what I was talking about before I fell. Oh. I would like to do a level 1 playthrough on a live stream because I have the feeling that's going to take a very, very long time. And some areas are probably going to would take a few episodes of a YouTube video just to complete one particular segment. And I don't know how much people would enjoy watching that. So I would prefer to just do that on a live stream where I can just take all the time in the world. My internet's garbage right now. That's not really an option. Get out of my fucking way. Alright, well, so far I have made 0 progress. Tis how things go down. Alright, so let's try to not suck ass again. Oh, I just noticed I had password matchmaking on. That little icon up the top left below my stamina, mana, and health bar is it's called the name engraved ring, and it was made in Dark Souls 2. The name engraved ring itself isn't in this game. I can probably just go back down to the bottom of the floor now. But the name engraved ring makes it so that only players who have the same password as you can join your world, like cooperatively. It doesn't affect invaders, so I should be invaded just like normal. Except I'm not embered, so I can't be invaded. If you're embered, oh yeah, when you're embered, you have the 20 or the 33% health increase, but you are also able to be invaded, which invaders can come, kill you, take your ember, and then they get an ember themselves. So that's the downside. But when you are embered, you can also summon for help. And here's where one of my biggest problems with this game comes in. The game's too forgiving when it comes to summoning for help. If you summon a player for help, I just opened a shortcut here back to the first bonfire, but we're just gonna keep on trucking down to the boss fight. If you summon a player for help, it increases your chances of being invaded yourself, but then that turns into a 2v1 against the invader. I feel like the game takes a lot away from the invaders and just makes it way too hard. And that, what the fuck are they doing? Yeah, invaders have it really, really tough. In Dark Souls 1, invaders were kind of pieces of shit, and I preferred it being that way. They were supposed to be really, really hard enemies that would just come rock your world every now and then. But in this game, an invader's kind of a joke, because the host just has every advantage at their disposal, typically involving more players. Invaders also have half the amount of healing items that a host does, so that's another huge problem. Alright. Second boss. Oh, his beautiful face. He just looks like he doesn't know where he is all the time. He's so lost. Chubby Outrider Knight. Take a sip of my drink. Let's fuck up. Now, I like this boss also. I feel like this boss is a really, really good second entry level boss for new players. Let's try one-handed. Higher damage output. So it does half as much damage per hit. But I might be able to get more hits off. Absolutely, I can get more hits off. I wonder if the two-handed strike has more stagger potential. So most heavy bosses like this, the tactic is really just get in between their legs or get behind them, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. Charge me, I really want to. Ow. Let's not. If that bar fills up, I get frostbitten, and that increases the stamina cost for all of my things, and just increases all damage I take by a huge amount. So I do not want to get frostbitten. Okay, now he's going into rage mode, and he's going to start charging. Oh, normally he charges a lot more than this. Come on, bud. Ah, fuck. The club might actually do better here. See where I am. Okay, yeah. Now I'm frostbitten. He was hitting me with his hammer even though I was behind him. Which, some of the hitboxes can be a little janky in this game. That's just something you have to get used to. For the most part, the game is very fair, so it doesn't really bother me when it is a little strange. Ah! I hit the dodge just too late. Alright, that was pretty damn close. But now I have the shortcut, so I can show you one of my favorite things about Dark Souls. It doesn't have, I mean obviously it does have a traditional checkpoint system similar to other games where there's just spots where if you die you go back, like the bonfires. But rather than put more bonfires in the game, what the games do, and Dark Souls 1's by far the best at this. Dark Souls 1 has very, very few bonfires and a lot of shortcuts instead. This one has a few superfluous bonfires. But in this game, there are shortcuts that you can open up from later points in the level. Like this is the door that I rode the elevator up and opened. So I just call the elevator down. This door is locked from the other side. I really don't want to fall down. And now I can't fall down the hole, so that's good. Yay. Give me the great axe, dude. You know you want it. I should probably just grab my souls, go back to the fucking fire link, and use them. You know, I wonder if the club's better. Most enemies have resistances to certain kinds of attacks. In general, heavily armored enemies have higher resistance to slashing attacks, like daggers, for instance, and less resistance to blunt attacks, like a club. So I feel like the club would generally deal more damage to you. Yeah, I just need to be a little bit cleaner than I was last time. Last time I lost all of my healing supplies on the first half of his health. And then the second half of his health I pretty much took down at one hit. I notice it's kind of difficult to tell what's going on sometimes because my character just goes inside the enemy, but when you're playing it's a lot easier because you just get a feel for it. Oh, that was not going out. Just heal up. It would also probably help to have the other Estus Flask. Oh shit. I got frostbitten. Okay. I need to try and wait for this to go away because if he hits me while I'm frostbitten, it fucking hurts. Okay. Not frostbitten anymore. So yeah, as you can see, even the really, really low level bosses require immense concentration. Yep. No. That was all on me. What? He wasn't charging at first, and then he like led in his normal charge. That really caught me off guard. As you can see, I'm no speedrunner of this game. I wouldn't even consider myself that great at Dark Souls. I just play it a lot. I used to be significantly better. Oh my god. That attack's hitbox is crunched. Alright. Well, let's go one more time. And hopefully I can kill him before the episode's over. Now, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to do. I am going to really quickly go to Firelink. I'm going to upgrade my Estus Flask. That extra flask will it'll probably be the difference between winning and losing on this guy. So the typical method for killing bosses in these games is you're supposed to just fight them over and over again and memorize their patterns and learn all of their moves. If I had never fought this boss before, I would be getting hit by almost all of his moves because that's typically how the games play out. I like that kind of gameplay. I can understand why a lot of people might not, because it comes off as trial and error. But in my opinion, it's really not trial and error, because trial and error is like I don't know, trial and error feels more random, whereas this is you learn how to deal with every enemy that you come across. Just slowly you learn more and more and more until eventually, people who are extremely good at this game can probably, I would guesstimate that a professional speedrunner could beat this game in 2 hours. I think 2 hours sounds about fair. Maybe faster. A lot of people might think, oh, you can beat the game in 2 hours? Wow, it must be a short game. But no. No, it is absolutely not a short game. And no, the length isn't padded out by the difficulty. A lot of the areas, as I said, you can just run through. And if you ran through every single area, you could get through them in minutes at a time. But the areas themselves are very big, very detailed, very fleshed out. And if you actually stopped and looked around like you were meant to, you would go through them a lot slower, and it would feel a lot more full. So I really like that. I don't mind at all. You could spend hours exploring the world. In fact, my first playthrough of this took 30 plus hours because I was just exploring everything, and I think that's amazing. That's a lot of fun to me. There's just so much to see, so much to learn about the game, and the more you put into it, the more you get out, and that's my favorite kind of game. Ow. I don't even know why I have the Ashen Essence Flask equipped. I can't use it. No. Don't do it. Fuck. I just need to stop wasting Estus Flask by trying to heal when I'm not safe. Oh, yeah. One-handing it definitely has a higher damage output. Oh, fuck, I stepped into that. Damn it. Top off because the health doesn't really heal me much. Oh god, that hit hard. Fuck. Oh my god. I am way out of fucking practice. Alright, well, next time I swear I will kill him. I was hoping to do one boss per episode. Actually, the next boss after this is very, very far in, so I don't know if I'll get a boss done next episode. We'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna call it right there. I will absolutely kill that motherfucker in the next episode. I think what I really need to do is just get a better weapon than the dagger. The dagger is kind of difficult to use, and if you want to use it, I mean, I love the dagger, but if you want to use it, you kind of gotta put some stats into it and upgrade it, which I don't really want to do. So for right now, I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.